So in this video, I'm gonna share with you 7 red flags, truth bombs, amazing takeaways from this grilling of the century. Now, I need you to stay till the end. I know you've seen it, but I'm gonna show you how it could have gotten worse. So the next 5 minutes, I want to show you if Trump had played the video you're about to see, it could have gone worse. And stay with me for the biblical reaction in the end, where I reveal these 7 truth bombs so that you have a video to share with everybody, because we've made the decision that South Africa will prosper. This is where it started.
President, this time, what would it take for you to be convinced that there's no white genocide in South Africa?
Well, I can answer that for President. It's for him. No, seriously.
I'd rather have him answer.
Yeah, I'd rather answer. It will be.
How different things could have gone if President Trump had answered first. Let's see what happens and how it could have been worse.
Our president will respond to you.
Yeah,
Thank you, Mr. President.
It will take President Trump listening to the voices of South Africans, some of whom are his good friends, like those who are here. When we have talks between us around a quiet table, it will take President Trump to listen to them. I'm not going to be repeating what I've been saying. I would say if there was Afrikaner farmer genocide, I can bet you these 3 gentlemen would not be here, including my Minister of Agriculture. He would not be with me. So it'll take him, President Trump, listening to their stories, to their perspective. That is the answer to your question.
But, Mr. President, I must say that we have, wait. We have thousands of stories talking about it.
Sure.
And we have documentaries, we have news stories. And that, is Natalie here, somebody here to turn that? I could show you a couple of things, and it has to be responded to.
Yeah, sure.
Let me see the articles, please, if you would. And turn the lights down. Turn the lights down, and just put this on. It's right behind you, Johan.
There's nothing this parliament can do. With or without you, people are going to occupy land. We require no permission from you, from the president, from no one. We don't care. We can do whatever you want to do. Who are you to tell us whether we can occupy land or not? We are going to occupy land. Yeah. South Africa occupy land. That's who we are. Whatever you want to do, we can withdraw my membership from this useless parliament.
When the EFF encouraged invasion of unoccupied land, hundreds of people invaded this property. The settlement was named Juju Valley in honor of EFF leader Julius Malema.
Because those who own that land as well, they had their own plans that have been submitted to the municipality, including their commercial interest on the land.
This news is music to the ears of Juju Valley residents, but the municipality faces another headache. Last month, a new group invaded the other part of Brenner's remaining land and land belonging to other private owners. They named part of it after ANC activist Josie Butani, who is Malema's former friend and now arch-rival.
We have not invaded this land, but we have expropriated the land. There's a difference between invading and expropriating of land.
Even the owner, the one who said he's owning this land, doesn't even have a slip to buy this land. He just grabbed this land from our grandmothers. So we are continuing to take what it belongs to us back.
There are politicians that are thriving on a call for people to occupy land, which is rather an unfortunate situation.
Brenner wouldn't comment in detail, saying because the situation is fluid.
Must never be scared to kill. A revolution demands that at some point there must be killing, because the killing is part of a revolutionary act. in PE is a white man. So these people, when you want to hit them hard, go after a white man. They feel a terrible pain because you have touched a white man. Not because Mashaba and Suni will not be touched. They will be touched, no one. But we are starting with this whiteness. We are cutting the throat of whiteness. Shoot, kill, Yamaza, kill the brewer, the farmer, kill the brewer, the farmer. Pa, pa, pa. Shoot to kill, Yamaza, kill the brewer, the farmer, kill the brewer, the farmer.
I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I'm saying to you, was not called for the killing of white people, at least for now. I can't guarantee the future.
Yeah, but I mean, you understand somebody watching that, especially as it gets shared on Twitter, they freak out. It sounds like a genocidal.
I can't take it.
Who will expropriate land without compensation, whether they like it or not. If they object, they can seek refugee in America.
Thank you so much, President Trump, and a disaster from EMCA in South Africa. Thank you very much.
Thank you
for
very
hosting
much,
us.
Steve.
What would you like President Ramaphosa to do about the situation
I
that we've
don't
just
know.
seen on the screen?
I don't know. Look, these are articles over the last few days. Death of people. Death, death, death. Horrible death. Death. I don't know.
But you know that
To
there
pick
are
anyone,
people who are
white
dying.
South Africans are fleeing because of the violence and racist laws. And this is all, I mean, I'll give these to you. So when you say, what would I like to do? I don't know what to do. Look at this. White South African couples say that they were attacked violently. And,
President Trump, when will you go and see for yourself if it is indeed true?
well, I could do that. Look, here's burial sites all over the place. These are all white farmers that are being buried.
President Trump, would you...
Well, I think the videos are so. No. When you look at the videos, I mean, how does it get worse? And these are people that are officials, and they're saying that kill the white farmer and take their land. That's what it is. And I have other friends in South Africa. I have people that left. One in particular that says you can't go there. He said they want to take your land. They take your land and they kill you. It's okay, and they say it's okay to do. Now we're going to talk about it. But this is a tremendous look. This is story recent. Yeah. These are all people that recently got killed.
Yeah.
And I don't know how it can get any worse. These are and you know the men that you saw, the people that you saw in that movie, those are officials. Those are people that were in office. They had one march. They had a dance in your parliament, whatever you may call it, legislature.
Well, let me clarify that.
Yeah,
let me clarify that, because what you saw, the speeches that were being made, one, that is not government policy. We have a multi-party democracy in South Africa that allows people to express themselves, political parties to adhere to various policies, and in many cases, or in some cases, those policies do not go along with government policy. Our government policy is completely against what he was saying, even in the parliament. We would love to have Julius Malema
back in the ANC. It's not, he is still ANC down deep in his heart. So we would like to have those who are in the EFF back in the ANC, because the ANC is their home.
One day I will bring back my boy Julius Malema.
Yes.
I'll bring him home to the ANC. And he is our child too.
And they're a small minority party, which is allowed to exist in terms of our constitution.
But you do allow them to take land.
Which I really would like us to talk about, and talk about it very calmly. We were taught by Nelson Mandela that whenever there are problems, people need to sit down around a table and talk about them.
Well, there are
and this is precisely what we would also like to talk about, including, of course, trade matters, investment matters. So the issues that concern you as the United States,
those are all recent. Those are all deaths.
Yeah, in many ways, I mean, one should say you are a partner of South Africa, and you are raising concerns, and these are concerns that we are willing to talk to you about.
This issue that Donald Trump fears so much, we offer this question of the land. I don't know what Donald Trump has to do with South African land, because he's never been here. And he must keep his America, we will keep our South Africa. That's what he must do. South Africa is our land. South Africa belongs to all the people who live here in South Africa. It does not belong to Donald Trump. He can keep his America. And Ene is even worse. He is even worse. When I meet him, I will tell him. I will say, you, Donald Trump, you are even worse, because your forebears came to America. They found the native, the indigenous Americans. They wiped them out. They killed nearly all of them. We are living. We are living as a nation, and black and white, we are going to find solutions for our land question. So Donald Trump must leave us alone. He must leave us alone, Maori. When we were facing apartheid, when we were facing oppression, he was not here. He did not fight side by side with us. And we were able, on our own, yes, with support of progressive forces in the world, to resolve the apartheid question. As far as I recall, Donald Trump was not around the negotiating table when we negotiated the end of apartheid. So stick around there in the White House. We will do our business here, and we will find solutions for our problems. So stay out of our issues.
Let me just add quickly, you know, the criminality that we are experiencing in our country needs quite a lot of technological capability. And in one of our areas in South Africa, we're using US technology, which is able to, in many ways, identify where shootings are happening and all that. And I'd like to talk about that, because there is support that we can get from you and the United States to help us deal with all these acts of criminality. And that is what I believe partnership is all about. And we are here as a partner so that we can help each other whenever there are challenges. So I'd like us to discuss it, and of course outside of the media, so that we sit down and have a really good discussion that will lead to good outcomes.
That the two individuals that are in that video that you've seen are both leaders of opposition minority parties in South Africa. Nkonto Wesizwe under Mr. Zuma, and the economic freedom fighters under Mr. Malema. Now, the reason that my party, the Democratic Alliance, which has been an opposition party for over 30 years, chose to join hands with Mr. Ramaphosa's party was precisely to keep those people out of power. We cannot have those people sitting in the union buildings making decisions. And that is why after 30 years of us exchanging barbs across the floor in Parliament and trying to get one over on each other, we've decided to join hands precisely to keep that lot out of government. Because the day they get in to the doors of the union buildings in South Africa or control of our Parliament, that's what you're going to see. And that is why this government, working together, needs the support of our allies around the world so that we can strengthen our hand, grow our economy, and shut the door forever on that rabble getting through the doors of the union bodies, because then South Africa's future would be...
So you denounced that type of language in the video that you saw?
Oh yes, we've always done so. As government, as my own party, we are completely opposed to that. We, in 1955, adopted a document which said South Africa belongs to all who live in it.
But why wouldn't you arrest that man? That man said, kill the white farmers, kill the white farmers. And then he danced, and he's dancing, and it's kill the white farmers. I think, I'm not sure, but I think if somebody got up in Parliament and started saying kill a certain group of people, he would be arrested very quickly. That man is going all over South Africa, and that's not a small party. That was a stadium that holds 100,000 people, and I hardly saw an empty seat. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of representation.
And that's how the grilling went. So let's give you 7 truth bombs, takeaways, red flags from this interaction. Number 1, blatant lie. President Ramaphosa looks Trump in the eye and says, I have always spoken out against kill the Boer, against kill the farmer, against struggle songs that could be divisive. Really? Okay. Maybe this is not a shocking one for us. So let's move on to number 2. No foresight. This is when Donald J. Trump signed an executive order that said, I, Donald J. Trump, have these issues with South Africa, Iran, race laws, Israel, and all of that. The meeting that just happened, the grilling, is over 90 days after the 7th of February. What was happening over those 90 days? See, here's the problem. When government wants to be business people, psychologists, and a whole bunch of stuff, then they are very bad at what they are meant to do. You have a super presidency with electricity inside, with everything has just been brought into the presidency. And it's led to a point where there is no foresight for presidential issues. How do you walk into a trap like this and tell the world that we're the crime capital and we have no water, we have to have borehole water, and how did that fix anything? If you check this video right here, you'll see that I spoke about this in that video, just how simple they are. Number 3, we don't have a leader at the top of our executive. We have a beggar. We have no leadership with comrades. We have beggars. It doesn't matter if they are begging from the West. It doesn't matter if they are begging Putin. It doesn't matter if they are begging Xi Jinping. It doesn't matter who they align with. They align as beggars because their philosophy is a beggar philosophy. Finally, President Ramaphosa agrees. Oh, yes, no, okay, so crime is bad. But just give me money. Just give me money. The only answer he gave to every allegation was, but just give me money. We can't go anywhere in South Africa with begging comrades, begging revolutionaries, begging fighters. Their philosophy only trains them how to beg. And a leader, you know, because a leader empowers others to leadership. You will realize that all the thinking of revolutionaries, of comrades and fighters, at no point does it talk about citizens as if they are not children. It's because they are not leaders. In their minds, black people are infants who must be given houses, given land, given money, given grants. At no point do they think of empowering them and lifting them up to be better than themselves, because they see themselves of beggars, either of the West, and they say, I don't want to beg the West, but they always do. So now I choose to beg the East. Same thing. A beggar is a beggar. Number 4. I said in the video up here that comrades, fighters, revolutionaries took us out of apartheid, but apartheid was never taken out of them. The whole strategy of our president is, I'll bring Bas to explain. He even says, I'll let my Minister of Agriculture, Bas Steenhuisen, if he explains to you, Bas, this will all be sorted. I've bought Bas Rupert. I've bought Bas Nels. I've bought so many Bases. And then the actual government officials, who are mostly black, sit quietly, because if Bas talks to Bas, it's all sorted. See, they don't insult Trump as a racist because they feel he's got a standpoint that's morally wrong. They don't fight the West because they really believe something is morally wrong. They are in their mind fighting Bas and finally having an opportunity in Parliament to say, I will not be bullied, and being happy that they can finally shout at Bas. And after saying we will not be bullied, collect 4 Bases and then go to Bas. Listen to me. Do not vote for comrades, revolutionaries, fighters. Those people's minds are damaged. Even their own white citizens are Bases that they finally have an opportunity to fight back. They don't have what it takes to take the current South African, the current young person, to the next level. This red flag was horrible. Number 5, one thing that's awesome from this grilling is that we got to see that South African media is an ANC PR office working to try and protect the ANC's narrative, not South Africa, ANC. Someone says, oh, but the ANC has DA in it. Are you smelling anything DA-ish in the current GNU? Because I'm not. It's just ANC Part 2. So, all the media are ANC PR office. How this matter was covered from the 7th of February to the grilling up till today, you can see South African media, except us online, are just an ANC PR office. Let me hear from you in the bottom if you agree. Number 6, what has been awesome with what Trump has done to say blacks are not the only possible victims. And with that, I say mission accomplished. Even in South Africa, as much as the ANC PR office is busy saying, these facts were wrong, these facts were wrong, but the politics have worked. Stop thinking The only possible victim in the world is a black man. Why? Because you keep him an infant that way. You keep black people as infants forever with victim mentality. At least I'm happy there's a debate of, but they are farm murders. Yeah, but it's not genocide, but they are farm murders. Great. I love it. Why? Because the black victim mentality costs every single South African citizen money. It costs them health. It costs them collapsing infrastructure. It costs them living on 350 grant instead of a 30,000 salary. It costs them it costs them dignity of living in an embarrassing country, which whatever was said in front of Trump, the one thing with all defenses, the one thing we cannot deny, we live in a clown show. We live in a banana republic. We live in an unrespectable, shameful country. So that was positive. Number 7, the one good thing that came out of this is that South African collapse is now in the world spotlight.
We're proud South Africans. I still have my South African passport. You know, we travel with this passport, you know, and I got my visa here. So, you know, but we want to see things get better in our home country. That's the bottom line. It's been 35 years since the transition. President Ramaphosa was right in the middle of the transition time in 1990 and before that. So it's been 35 years of ANC government. And I know there's a lot of anger, you know, through the transition. There was also a lot of stuff happening in the apartheid days. You know, we grew up in the apartheid era. But I don't think two wrongs makes a right. You know, President Mandela, when he came out of prison for all that time, didn't come out with hatred, you know, and really unified our nation through sport. I feel we need the US to push this thing through. We've got a great ally if we can have the US. It's always been an ally of South Africa for a very long time, and you know, get the change we need.
Where did you do that well? He might have done that even better than he plays golf, which is almost impossible.
You know, I'd like my Minister of Agriculture, who is white. John?
Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Yeah.
You're also the leader of the DA, the second biggest partner in the government of national unity. And I know you don't like to talk about race, but how important is it going to be for a white man in the agriculture portfolio communicating to the Trump administration that believes that white Afrikaners are being persecuted and white farmers are being persecuted? Do you think, in a way, you are going to be able to bolster Team South Africa's messaging?
Well, I'm not sure. I mean, I regard myself as the Minister of Agriculture, not the white Minister of Agriculture. And I think we should start seeing people as judging them on their character, not on as envoys of their race.
You know, I'd like my Minister of Agriculture, who is white. John?
Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Yeah.
That's a rough thing to explain away. And the problem we have, and the way, you know, a correct and a fair media exposes things. But we have a very corrupt media. They won't even report this. If this were the other way around, it would be the biggest story. Now, I will say apartheid, terrible. That was the biggest story. That was reported all the time. This is sort of the opposite of apartheid. What's happening now is never reported. Nobody knows about it. All we know is we're being inundated with people, with white farmers from South Africa, and it's a big problem. Marco Rubio was telling me he's never seen anything like it. The numbers of people that want to leave South Africa.
The mess that South Africa has become under ANC mismanagement for 30 years has come under the spotlight. if you check out this video here, go and watch it and tell me if everything I said there did not line up with what happened here, even though I said it a month before. It will encourage you. So, biblical reaction. You know that the rulers of the Gentiles lord it over them. You realize that the thinking of comrades is that we must go beg for money outside, come back and spend it inside, so that all the money that's made in the country is made from us. If you watch this video here, you will hear the spokesperson of the ANC proving this. Why? Because they are still stuck in apartheid. They want power to the people. And their philosophy says power to the people, and we are the vanguard for the people, therefore power to us on behalf of the people. They have no intention of empowering the people. That's why a developmental state has nothing to do with developing the citizens. That's why the education collapses. It's not important. They need infants so that they can lord it over them. The fighters, same thing. They say, take all the land under the state. Who's the state? Juju himself. So that I now borrow all of you the land to use, to lord it over you and keep us as infants. And those who are great exercise authority over them. That's why the government wants to control who hires, how many of them, by what percentage. It's just exercising authority over them. But it shall not be so among you, but whoever desires to become great. Let me tell you what's the problem with the thinking of revolutionaries, Marxists, and comrades. They have no vision of greatness. And a lot of what is said to them, they reject it because they have no vision of greatness. When people like myself, who want to be number one in Africa, number one in the world, who want to be the first country to send someone to the first planet that no one's been to, who wants to be the first country to have the first business that becomes bigger than Tesla, who wants to be the first country to push the next technological movement. When we fight for that, they cannot understand. They have no vision of the future. They only have a vision of the past. When I look at black people in South Africa and I think, how do we make this one the next great entrepreneur? All they think is, how do I remove what apartheid did to him? Some of us desire to do more than address the injustices of the past, which at this point, they are only injustices of the past 30 years. Some of us actually want to address the greatness of the future and take people from shacks to mansions. That's the dream. Not to put them on a grant. And sure, there's nothing wrong with being on a grant, but there's a problem with being on a grant for 30 years. We want to make the environment conducive for business so that people compete, so that businesses start to suck people in. And out of that, they will go from shack to mansion. Whoever desires to be great among you, let him be your servant. Comrades cannot serve. They have no vision of service. They only have a vision of revenge. They have a vision of the past, or they have a vision of collapse. That's all they have, but not to serve. And whoever desires to be first among you. See, South Africa, I say this, and if you share it with me, please comment below. I want South Africa to be first. I want to catch Denmark. I want to catch Norway. I want to catch Sweden. And when I leave seeing that if this carries on like this, it's going there. Right now, it's downwards. What must he do? Let him be your slave. See, comrades, revolutionaries, fighters are still stuck in the injustice of the past. They can't serve business. They can't serve citizens. They can only serve their own pockets, because these people can't be the citizen slave. They can't be the citizen servant, because service still carries too much pain for them. And we appreciate what they did before 1994. But listen, anyone who's still stuck in pre-1994 needs to step aside and find a good pastor, find a good psychologist, and deal with their trauma. And then let the people, the builder parties, or you can check one of the videos below that's called a great court ruling. The builder parties have a better chance. And I believe that by 2029, we'll probably have an awesome builder party, because so much is moving. Or one of the builder parties will start to shift and get serious about the South African vision. So, no man can serve two masters, for either he will love the one and hate the other, or he'll respect the one and disrespect the other. Child of God, you cannot serve both God and Marx. You must choose one. So, cling, cling. If you're not subscribed, don't just subscribe, but also ring the bell. Also, I'll be able to see your comment. Let's make history together. Cheers.